y'all, you're just in time. I was about to grab some parsley for the garnish for our meal tonight. From our nice little planters here. So come on inside, let's get cooking. Well, I'm Charla and welcome to our home. I'm so excited to have y'all here today and to share our recipe with you. Tonight for dinner, my husband Tim and I are going to have barbecue shrimp. And what best side dish to go with barbecue shrimp than grits? And specifically, we're going to make creamy smoked Gouda grits. They're absolutely fabulous. Now before y'all got here, I actually went ahead and started bringing some of our ingredients up to a boil. And I have to tell you, this recipe will actually serve 6 to 8, and if they're light scoopers, it'll actually serve about 10 people. And so what I've done to show you guys this recipe tonight is I've cut it in half, because otherwise Tim and I will be eating grits until about the middle of next week. And as much as I love grits, I don't like them that much. So anyway, what I've done, and you can see it, I've brought my chicken broth, my milk, salt, and pepper up to a boil in a saucepan. If you're making the whole recipe, I would recommend a much bigger pot. And it's about to come up to a boil, so I need to, it's about to overflow actually. I'm going to add in my grits. What I have here is quick cooking grits. I like how speedy they are. It only takes about 5 to 7 minutes to cook these up. And I'm stirring constantly until the grits get all incorporated. But now I'm going to turn it down a little bit to about medium. And get a good stir. And now I'm going to cover it and let it start to simmer for about 5 to 7 minutes, like I said. And you have to make sure with this that you stir it occasionally, because otherwise your grits are going to cook over and you're going to have more than just a mess to clean up. Okay, so we got that under control. I've already shredded about 4 ounces of smoked Gouda cheese. I have about 2 ounces of Philadelphia cream cheese, because we can't forget while we're here. And 3 tablespoons of softened butter. I've also fried up a couple of pieces of bacon to crumble on top as a nice garnish. And like I said, chopped up that parsley that I got from our container outside. You know, it's really funny because whenever I was growing up, I didn't really like grits, and my mom would fix the yellow grits. Usually we would have it on a Sunday night after we were getting back from my grandma's with like salmon and grits, and we would be coming back from South Georgia. And I tell you, I did not like grits because they were always, like, if you didn't eat them fast enough, they would get really hard on your plate. And I just thought they were pretty disgusting. It wasn't until we went to Callaway Gardens for the Christmas lights show, when I was probably like in about high school, that they had white stone ground grits. And I tell you, that's whenever I fell in love with grits. It wasn't until my husband and I, it was our first Thanksgiving together. We were just dating. And he went home with me to Augusta, Georgia, where I'm from, and we went to the Partridge Inn, which is this great restaurant and hotel in Augusta, and they have an amazing brunch for Thanksgiving. And Tim had his first sample of grits. We've been married for about a year now, and I have to admit that I've probably cooked more grits in this past year than I have like my whole life that I've eaten. You know, one thing that I like about grits is the fact that they're so versatile. You can fix them for breakfast, you can have them with some eggs and bacon, or you can serve it up with a nice little breakfast strata and have the girls over for brunch, or like what we're doing tonight, which is my favorite, have it with some shrimp and grits. I tell you, there is nothing like it to sop up that juice and the gravy that comes along with the grits or the shrimp. It's awesome. And what also is really versatile about this recipe is, like you can see, I'm cutting it in half for Tim and I, but if you have a big group, you can serve them, and they're really not very expensive. You can mix it up if you don't want to have smoked Gouda grits. You can add like white sharp cheddar cheese or regular cheddar cheese. They're great. They're great. There's so many things that you can do with them. And Tim is a big fan now too. So what's happening is my grits are thickening up. I'm continuing to stir them. You can smell like that chicken broth. That's what I love. If you want to cut down on the salt, you can by just using water. I kind of like to take a middle road on this one and use the reduced sodium chicken broth. It just adds a savory flavor to it. They're starting to thicken up. This is getting exciting. All right. You can tell whenever your grits are ready because they start to get thickened and creamy. You just keep stirring them. Now I'm going to add in our smoked Gouda. I'm making a mess. I'm going to add in our Philadelphia cream cheese. This just takes the creaminess of the grits to a whole nother level. And I'm going to add in the butter. This is from my best friend Crystal and her now fiance Donnie. And Donnie's first words were, "This is a beautiful meal." I have to admit, it tastes just as good as it looks. Alright, let's get this plated up now. Turn off the heat. Serve up a nice quart tonight. One last good spoonful. These smell so good, so savory with that smoked Gouda. Now all it needs is a little sprinkle of parsley. Some bacon. Y'all, this is going to be so good. Check that out. Smoked Gouda Grits. You have it. Smoked Gouda Grits. Now all we need is just to get the barbecue shrimp out and Tim and I will be ready for dinner. So thank y'all so much for joining me, and thank you to Paula and to Philadelphia Cream Cheese for this great experience. This was so much fun sharing this recipe with you guys, and I can't wait to see all y'all next week. Thanks again.